If you're a projector that's feeling super bitter and resentful that you are not getting the recognition and the invitations that you deserve, then you are in the right place. My name is Brenna. I am a human design reader of 9.5 years that also uses astrology to teach you the practical implementation of these systems to make real world, real life changes when it comes to your relationships, your money, and your mindset. I'm so excited to be talking about my projectors here today, and I have quite a few comments that I have gotten on my projector playlist that's over on TikTok, as well as from my projectors in my projector Patreon. And we're going to break down some of the common areas that I've seen over the last 9-10 years almost of doing this work, where my projectors tend to get stuck, and how to overcome those things, especially when it comes to your personal relationships, romantic relationships, but also your business relationships as well, and making sure that you get the money that you know that you deserve to make. So as projectors, you guys may know this already, but you only make up 20% of the population. And there's a lot of people that aren't projectors that are giving you advice. I'm a manifesting generator, but I know my projectors like this inside and out because I've made it my mission to help build you guys up, especially my other non-sacrals like my reflectors and my manifestors, because you're in the minority. People can understand the concepts of what it means to help you, but actually seeing it work out in real time when we have A plus B equals C to help the projector, that's not a lot of advice that people really have enough education or lived life experience to be able to give you. They may be able to explain it, but it's different when you don't have the real life results to back it up. So that's why you feel stuck and you're like, okay, that feels great, but like, what does this actually mean when I practically integrate it in real time? And today we're going to go over what it means to get and receive an invitation, why you're hesitating and how that's getting you in the way, and how to work with bitterness as your guide. So oftentimes what I see with my projectors when they come to me for a reading is that they're super tired and burnt out. They don't have the right environment or even know where to go to find people that are like them or that can appreciate them. And they're feeling frustrated because they're running ragged and they're in places and spaces in society, especially right now in our big age of 2025, that don't feel aligned, or they just feel like it's a worthless pursuit to try to go and make friends, make company, be with other people when they just don't get the return on their investment of doing it tired, showing up anyway, and going into places and spaces that just feel really exhausting. I will start off by saying you are not lazy and you are not broken. It is our system that is already inherently flawed. So we have to find a way to work on our wellness within a broken system and do what we can to bloom where we're planted. That's where the really good solid foundation of understanding what it's like to build solid ground as a projector, super, super, super important. So what are the ways that we do this? So the first thing I want you guys to look at is where you're feeling the most bitter in life. Where are you feeling bitter for not being recognized? And where do you feel bitter for people not giving you the right invitations? Even though we don't want to sit too long in our uncomfortableness, it could be hard. You guys are really smart, so you want to over intellectualize your emotions. It's okay to have those mini crash outs safely. Oh, there's thunder as I said that. Mini crash outs safely. Oh, the gods are confirming it. And be able to prioritize your peace, right? So when you have that moment of just really allowing yourself to be upset and thinking about the ways that people have made you feel bitter, that have let you down, that said that they were going to do one thing but didn't follow through, manifesting generators, that is really good data and intel to tell you what is actually going to make you feel successful. What I just mentioned, the key buzzwords, bitterness and success as a projector, is your not self theme and your signature. So I find that a lot of human design readers don't explain this great off the rip when they're talking to projectors, but those two words are so incredibly grounding for how you're going to understand what is the actual problem to be able to create a solution. 2 solutions I'm going to give you. So when you see and you can recognize, if you get out a journal where you can write something down, maybe you set a timer, just give yourself a cozy moment. It doesn't have to take more than 15 minutes if you don't want it to. Just depends on how much you need to get out of your system. I do have a lot of Aries and fire moons that find me, so maybe a little bit of a rage journal. But I want you to write down the instances and the people and the times that you have felt bitter or just like resentment or like seething with anger. That's normal because it's your body that's telling you that you've been ignoring your success or your definition of success for way too long, or letting the other sacral energy types, generators and manifesting generators, really drag your head around and really ultimately prioritizing success based on what success looks like for them and their energy type versus what success actually looks like for you as a projector. First piece of homework, or I should say the second piece of homework that I'll give you if we're doing journaling as our number one on bitterness, I want you to then either, if you're emotional authority, take a day to just sit with that and alchemize that feeling. But I want you to then create another page or another journal or a Notion board, whatever feels good for you, and really sit and define what your success is. 9 times out of 10 or 99% of the time, I'll say find expanders, somebody who's already doing what you're doing. This is not what I would suggest for you as a projector. And I tell my projectors in my 8-week accelerated mentorship program this all the time. You know already inside of you, when you really sit with yourself, this is 100% of the time true. You know what success looks like for you. Maybe that means you're a motivational speaker that travels the world and makes $10 million a year. Maybe it's that you want to be a stay-at-home mom and have a bakery or be able to make baked goods from your home. Maybe there's just different variations of success. When you really sit and you visualize and you think of a visual clairvoyantly in your mind's eye of what success is for you, it's going to look so different. I've popped up a bunch of pictures of projectors and what their versions of success looks like. Projectors that I worked with, different projectors that are famous, as you know. So like, just notice that projector success looks different on everybody. It just is a matter of really sitting down and understanding, well, what makes you happy? What makes you feel successful? Because that is the signature or the bullseye phrase that you want to ask yourself every single day. Does this make me feel successful? Does this make me feel bitter and resentful? And that's how you're going to start to call your energy back. It's going to help you to be less exhausted because you're tired all the time. You have to find those ways to claim your energy back, because there's a lot of people that are walking around right now, especially with the astrology, Saturn and Aries, conjunct Neptune, all the stuff that's happening this year. We're really getting our ground shaken. And the big goal or the big push, especially in a human design community, what's happening is we're trying to help our projectors, or at least should be anyway. So that's why I am so adamant about my projector Patreon is my biggest group right now. You guys are already intuitively aligned with this. I'm an Aquarius rising, even though I'm a man gen, I think 10 steps ahead anyway. So I know that there is huge power and potential for us to do things more efficiently, which is your middle name. So we really need to redefine where you can call your energy back, what you can define as bitterness for you, and where you can find success. Now, another tip that I give in my 8-week accelerated mentorship program when I'm doing my kind of like intake form or initial session with somebody in the 8 sessions that we have is talking about how to set up your offer suite before you have clients. The second thing that I see that so many projectors get themselves mucked up about is they wait until it's too late to start to put their things together. The thing that you are not supposed to do as a non-sacral person is wait until you have interest to make the thing that you're interested in. I've said and slapped the wrist of a couple of my projectors to say, do not tell anybody your other goals, dreams, and aspirations and wait for their excitement to fulfill you. That's not how this works. That's not how you're going to find success, because people can't conceptualize what you're thinking. You have to remember that you are a seer that sees things ahead of your time. So there is no room or no capacity for the other brains of people who are not as forward thinking, who are not as visionary, to be able to perceive what you are explaining without you having some tangible thing that you can show them, or a way to capture how they want to pay you, booking a session with them. I don't want to hear how many times you're creating a new Instagram or a new website, or you want to do this or you want to do that, and there's no actual action taken. You have to remember, especially if you're using this for business, that 70% of the population that you are marketing towards is sacrally defined. You need to make it really easy to say yes to people. What I notice also happens, and the reason that you're not getting the invitations that you want, need, and desire, is that when somebody actually offers you a full invitation, you haven't been doing the work. You don't have things set up behind the scenes. So you hesitate because now you don't have a place to send these people when they do want to work with you. You spent so much time marketing what you're going to do that you have no business, you have no backbone, you have no foundation to be able to capture that business or the interest of that person. It's like saying out loud, like, yes, I'll be so excited when I can finally do tarot card readings for people, and someone asks you and they're like, oh yeah, I would love to get one from you, like, how can I sign up? And you're like, I don't know, like, let me think about that. You've already lost them, right? So this is where, not to beat yourself up, I'm just giving you the tough love because I'm a Scorpio North Node, right? That's what I do, Scorpio MC. I have to give it to you straight. It's not to make you feel bad. You have to make peace with that if that's how you've been up until this point, and really move forward in a way that feels a lot more aligned, because that's what's going to get you the business. But you have to create on your own, behind the scenes, before you share it with anyone, some sort of a sacred container to be able to capture that business, that relationship, that connection with people that is going to help you build sustainable community that you can actually rely on because you've trusted yourself. Your nervous system feels safe with knowing that you are also a reliable person who has follow through. Because what happens is then you create this self-fulfilling prophecy of I never get invitations, but you don't get invitations, you feel invisible because after you put your energy out there, you have no sustainable place for them to go. So building the website first, creating that sacred container, finding a way that once you define your version of success, in that, I want you to write down how you operate, how your business flow looks. When you really sit down and close your eyes, or if you journal or whatever it is, you can look to your strongest sense for this. It's your sense or your design sense on the chart properties. There's a free copy of my chart generator in the comments below. Hello, Orb. But we're looking at that to see like, okay, what do I sense intuitively? Again, you're the seer, is how I want to flow through my day. And then the key to doing that and to making sure that people see you in your projector passion, your projector light, your projector aura, where you have that strong aura that you're projecting out into the world, thinking of a movie projector. Like, what do I project when I show my movie of my life on the screen? This is how I will feel successful when my day looks like this, when I have this many clients a day. And not thinking about making it super logical, right? The last thing that you want to do, unless you're a mental projector, is overrule your authority with logic in the terms of 3D society, because the logic you're finding is actually probably logic statistically that is good for generators and manifesting generators, which is why you feel so bitter, tired, resentful, because you're not operating within your aura type in a way that actually feels good for you. And the tip that I'll give you that's going to really help with this, I actually just gave this to a beautiful projector named Leo, who's a king, also King Adonis here on YouTube, who's been in our YouTube lives and our body doubling sessions in my human design hotline. That's Wednesdays, every Wednesday at 7:30 for a few hours Eastern Standard Time, is to see yourself as the talent. I also tell every single projector that I work with, the projectors in my projector Patreon, like, you guys need to see yourself as the talent. So if you are pitching yourself to somebody, or you are the talent that is going to be pitched to Madison Square Garden, you don't usually have you that's going in and pitching yourself. As a projector, you shouldn't. You have to already see that you have this sovereign energy and this regal quality to you, where you have to have a good team that's going to help you. Even if it's just one person. What I said to Dev Leo was that you have a partner that wants to help you. Have that partner, and maybe you craft the intro email to the venue that you want to perform at. Then your partner, on your behalf, with you CC'd on the email, is sending those invitations for you for whatever it is that you want to co-create. But when that email is sent, you have to make it really easy for those people to say yes to you. So how can you get the invitation, right? You have your media kit. Say you have a one sheet explaining, let's say psychic mediumship is the thing that you want to pitch to perform for a live audience at local metaphysical stores, right? You have your email ready to go, but then you also have branding details and about me, a description of how the evening is going to go. You already know how much you want to charge. You've already done the research for what the split is between you and the venue as the talent. You already know that you want to collect the money and then disperse it to the venue, or vice versa. You want to make sure that it's a venue that has a good reputation, that gives their people good recognition and doesn't half-ass kind of promote their events. You know that they're doing the work too and that they also care. Those are all really important things to pay attention to. So when you see yourself as the sovereign entity, as the sovereign special, talent in the world, what is it that would be your elevator pitch? What's on your one sheet, we call them? I've made a lot of one sheets because I used to work in arts and music management. So I say I'm really good at pimping my projectors out respectfully in the best way, because that's what's really needed, right? There's this energy of like, I know that I am talented, but I need to stop sleeping on myself. I can't be mad at myself for that. So the recap is to make a journal prompt or write down in your journal what it feels like to feel bitter. Where can you just really lean into feeling that full, like, fledged anger, that resentment, that rage of like what it feels like to be ignored, or what it feels like to be slept on, what it feels like to be exhausted because you don't have support of your community, and let yourself feel that. Then when you really sit with yourself, whether waiting out your emotional authority or talking to yourself out loud, if you're a self-projected projector, I want you to think about what makes you successful as an individual. I don't want you to then take that time and go look online on TikTok, on YouTube, go in person and say, well, what are other people doing for success? that is what's getting you tripped up. You have to think about when you really sit with yourself, you know what success looks like for you. If you need nervous system regulation and exercises about that, that's another conversation too, to get you to that point where you can even feel safe doing that. If you need help with that, just drop a comment in the comments below and I can workshop that with you there, specifically when I have more data for you. I invite you to do that as a projector. I am open. So that's the second step, right? Then once you know what that looks like, you really want to think about, well, how is my business set up? How is the grounding foundations of my relationship set up? How do I want to be courted? How do I want to date somebody, right? Depends on what you're using this for. But if we're going in the lane with career, it's like, okay, I know that I want my website to be up. I know that I want to be able to book more in-person shows than do things online. That's also a really big discernment piece. Do you want to start doing online more or in person? One of those dials has to be turned up a little bit higher for success. That's also a really good point for me to share with you guys. And then, just kind of sitting with yourself, setting that good foundation, it will give you that ability to accept aligned invitations so that people know that they can trust you, that they can rely on you, and will come back to you again and again so that you don't feel invisible. You feel more energized because you're finally getting that recognition with people that have follow through. And you're acknowledging that you're building quality relationships that turn into quantity in both your bank account and your energetic life over time. So I know these are some great tips that I know you guys will want to run and do and accomplish right away. If you have any other questions or there's any other things that you need assistance with, please let me know. I also invite you to check out my Projector Patreon. I have a really beautiful community over there for only $22 a month. I make it affordable so that way you guys get the help that you need and deserve without burning your budget, your bank account, or your energetic space. We have a once a month trainings that I drop in there, and then you get a complimentary 10-minute reading with me on YouTube Live or TikTok Live during my Human Design Hotline, and 24/7 access to the chat. We also do full and new moon circles together collectively in the community every full and new moon. So I invite you guys to check that out. If you also feel like you need a community of support, especially if you have a lot of 11th house activity in your astrology, or you just want a supportive environment, you also get archives to all the trainings that I've done. It's like over 35 trainings at this point, including social media marketing for projectors, walking you through exactly how to do it with a posting schedule too. So I am in this to help you guys. I invite you to ask me any and all questions that you have. I really am trying to help support you guys to launch you forward in a way that just makes you feel more successful, because I just know that you deserve it and you know that you deserve it too. Thank you so much for watching this video. Send this to your projector bestie, and don't forget to subscribe for more content all about projectors and navigating the energetic changes as a projector in this big and beautiful year. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys soon.